Hello everyone, we're starting a new video talking about our trip around Australia. So we're planning a 13-month family trip around the entire country. I want to just talk a little bit about some of the ideas around our planning. So my wife Robin's here, we've got 3 young boys, and we've gotten to the right stage of our lives that we're going to go and do this epic trip. So planning for this started 8 years ago. We actually didn't even have 3 kids 8 years ago. So so the plans have changed a little bit, but something this epic, I suppose, for us is taking the entire 8 years to get ready. We're leaving Boxing Day 2018, and I'm hoping to return back to where we live in January 2020. So fairly big. For me, especially, the whole journey has been like a lifelong journey for me. Really inspired as a kid by Les Hiddens, so the Bush Tucker Man. If any of you know his stuff, going as remote, living off the land and stuff like that. This trip's probably not going to be that sort of thing. I don't think Australia's
it's got a bit of baggage coming along.
Yeah, as remote as it used to be, and there's lots of people doing the trip. So as far as being as self-sufficient and expert in the bush as he was, those sort of days for us are probably past. Malcolm Douglas, also a massive sort of fan of his. So you can kind of see my interest base. So I love my fishing, love my hunting, love my outdoor stuff. Cooking on a fire, right up my alley. And more recently, we've been kind of inspired by the family that did the Big Lap DVD series. So Steve and Jen and the girls. That was probably the pivotal point for us. We went, let's do that with our family. So yeah, Robin.
Yep. So as Troy said earlier, we're leaving a month from now, and I think the important thing is to have a plan. If you're planning on doing something like this, have a timeline. We meet lots of people who say, "Oh, we always wished we had have done that," and I think the difference between wishing and actually getting it ready to happen is having that plan, setting yourself a timeline, and then really sticking to it as closely as you can. That at the moment we're in full swing. We've got 30 days to go until we actually leave. So that means that we're packing our house. We've got tenants coming in, and so we're making the transition from moving, from a 5-bedroom house into a. It's a beautiful caravan, but it's still a lot smaller than what we're used to. So we're just sort of there's some time to adapt for that. We're really excited about that adventure, but I'm sure as we hit the road and we get along, there'll be some teething problems, but that's part of the adventure. You work it out as you go, and
look, we're not new at this. Like caravanning's new. We've progressed from tents to camper trailers and so on. We've got 3 very, very active boys, so we'll see how they go. All of us being in the cramped spaces. I guess the nice weather, that's not going to be the issue. Let's see how we go when we get some wet weather, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen, and it's inevitable that people are going to irritate each other at various points of time. But with that also comes the amazing journey of being with each other all the time for the 13 months, which is something most people don't get to do with school and work and those sorts of things.
I suppose that's the thing that I'm most looking forward to is just having that family time together. It's really easy to get busy with everyday life and work and kids at school and just general living, and it's easy to take each other for granted. So I'm really looking forward to slowing down the pace of life and just spending some family time together. So as Troy said,
and for us, like really living, is the day-to-day, the grind, the work, and that is that living, or is spending this sort of time, is that living? So it'll be interesting to see how we go.
So as Troy said, we've got 3 boys. When we leave on the trip, they'll be 10, 8 and 4. So we had to wait a little bit longer to make our baby a bit older.
Yep.
So he was able to come on the trip and be able to enjoy it as much as the older 2.
I suppose some of the concerns we had around the ages of the kids were obviously around water. A lot of the trip has water elements to it, and so being able to swim and water safety and those sorts of things, and making sure everyone comes back from our trip is very high on my agenda. And obviously an element obviously an element of croc safety and stuff like that as well, where kids need to listen at various points and need to be aware of crocs and snakes. And look, I think a lot of people build that stuff over the top, but it's still an element. And if you're not, if you ignore those things completely, that's when things do go wrong. So that was a little bit about why we chose the ages of the kids and why we've waited to the point we have. So for us, the trip, we live on the border of Victoria, and we've lived in Victoria. Both of us have lived in Victoria pretty much our whole life, so we're kind of skipping the Victorian element of it because we've done so much of that, and we really want to spend the bulk of the time in the parts of the country that you just can't visit in a 2-week stint. So no, that kind of Kimberley, Arnhem Land, and the Cape are really big on my list of things, and with so many amazing spots and big distances to travel. So the trip for us is consisting of an entire lap of pretty much the coast, with elements of inland. So we've got elements of the Pilbara region, we're going to go inland, and we've also got the Red Centre. And on the trip, we are meeting up with family and friends for various points. So in-laws are coming to the Red Centre, friends are talking about flying up to Darwin or driving to Darwin with boats to meet us for fishing trips and stuff like that. And no, I hope those people do tag along, because I've had to leave my boat at home, which is going to kill me for 12 months being such a keen fisher. I'm having to downgrade a little bit to a kayak, and I'm going to try that and see how we go. But I've got big plans of fishing the entire country and continuing this, and the Angry Fisherman channel that I've got as part of that journey too. So I hope that people that do like the fishing element kind of do follow and do subscribe to the channel and continue that journey. And look, the fishing stuff's going to continue into the future after this trip too. So I hope you guys do join us on the journey. It's going to be exciting. You know, we're getting ourselves set up as far as camera gear and all that sort of stuff goes. We've set up the car, we've set up the caravan, and we'll do some rundowns on that stuff, because a lot of the planning around the right car and the right caravan and doing it right for us is all part of the journey as well. And I know lots of people are excited and interested in that sort of stuff.
And you've got to set it up right, because there's nothing worse than being out on the road and not having what you need, or you know, it's the system that you've created is not working for you. So I've had to think really carefully about how I've set the caravan up, because I want it to work for us. Yeah. Nothing worse than being surrounded by stuff and not being able to find anything.
And look, originally this trip was going to be in a camper trailer, and got to the point where we just decided that 12 months on the canvas, and look, this is just for us. Look, I would have been quite happy doing that, but family wise was probably a good transition to the caravan, and work's allowed us to do that as well, to upgrade and so on. So it's going to be a little bit of a different trip. So as far as will we leave caravans in various parts and travel via just car and maybe tent it and stuff like that, that's probably going to be a thing. Whereas we were going to take the caravan, the camper trailer, as far as we could and as remote as we could. So just tweaking it to suit the entire family and not just my trip. So
me, in other words.
That's right. Yeah. So subscribe, like this, follow our journey. Feel free to share it. And there's going to be plenty more video. I do like doing this sort of stuff, and for me, it's a little bit of a selfish indulgence that I'm going to document it for my boys and my wife, and that to enjoy into the future as well. So, cheers.